Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It's Tuesday night. I'm starting to get my days squared away now. It's Tuesday night, and we're going to create some art. I figured it'd be like a pretty low-key night tonight. I don't have anything spectacular planned. I'm just going to draw a bear, and I'm going to keep saying bear throughout the broadcast and see if my own dog, whose name is Bear, pays attention to me or not. And so far, she seems okay. She seems tired. She's not all riled up because I'm saying bear a lot. But we'll see if that changes throughout the night. So I'm going to draw I think it's a grizzly bear in white on black paper. So I've got my black paper here. I've got my bourbon, and let me see if anybody's in chat yet. Nope. All right. So I'm just going to hop in and get started. Cool. And if anybody does come in and they want to chat, feel free. Otherwise, I'm just going to draw a pretty picture. All right. So yeah, this is a bear. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by kind of like deciding how big I want this bear. It's just a bear's face, by the way. It's like a portrait of a bear. I've been, like if you've been paying attention, even the least bit, you see that I've been drawing a lot of animals recently. I'm trying to get better at drawing animals. Um, Hey, Jason Dent's here. Cool. Yeah, so, well, it sounds like it'd be interesting, but, sometimes my pictures don't come out very well, so we'll see how it goes. Um, but I have high hopes for this bear. Uh, it looks like Cocaine Bear, to be honest. So, like, whatever type of bear Cocaine Bear was, I don't know if Cocaine Bear was a grizzly bear or not. I don't mess with bears, so I never stopped to figure out what kind of bears they are. I just would leave the area if I ever encountered one, even if it's like a black bear, which they say is pretty friendly or just not deadly. I don't know. I ain't messing with no bears, but this one kind of looks like Cocaine Bear to me, um, without the attitude. But yeah, so at this point, I'm just kind of sketching it out lightly so I can kind of figure out where it might exist on the page. This is what I typically do when I'm not starting with like, a sketch. This is actually my process for making my sketch before I get into it, is I just sketch it out lightly so that I don't run into the issue of like running into pieces not on the page or something like that, if that makes sense. Is that why it is white on black? Yeah, yeah. Well, let's just say we're drawing Cocaine Bear. Yeah, let's just say that. Although I think Cocaine Bear, the one from the movie, is a little more ferocious than this bear. This bear kind of looks a little cuddly. I mean, he's got kind of like a mean mug to him, but it's not like he's snarling or anything like that. He's just he's just there being friendly. Well, maybe not friendly. Like he definitely wants you to know that you're not supposed to be in his part of the woods. But so far he hasn't tried to eat you yet. That's the kind of bear I'm drawing. So yeah, I think the ears would be here. And I've kind of explained before what my process is. I kind of just draw something. So in this case, I think I started with the nose, or maybe I just started with this left side. And then I try to do like kind of proportions based on like relations to other objects. So like if I started with this nose, I don't remember where I started. I started somewhere over here. Then I know that the eye is going to be right up here, and it's going to kind of stop just short of the edge of the nose. Then I know that the other eye is probably going to be, and of course I'm just kind of eyeballing this. You see I don't have like a ruler here or anything like that. I know that the eye is going to be on the same level as this kind of indentation here. So I'm kind of setting myself some little waypoints, I guess, for mapping this out. But yeah, Jason, I'm not sure I've seen you in here before. Yeah, Jason's a friend of mine. We go way back from the treasure hunting days. this your first time hanging out with me while I'm drawing art? Hopefully you've seen some of my pictures I've done. Nobody watches this show. It's usually nah. I'm just kidding. There's a fair amount of people who come in here and watch this, but it's not totally a going concern. Yeah. So and then down from his eye, there's kind of this ridge that makes up the top of his nose. I think it kind of goes at this angle. And then, yeah. So just guessing, it looks like I've got the proportions mostly right here, so that's cool. So this part here would kind of line up with the edge of the mouth. All right, so let me move my bourbon out of the way. Switch it over here. Gotta have the bourbon. I don't know. I might switch to wine or just drink beer or something like that. You can't have bourbon every day. There's apparently there's something called a liver and let's see. So I think this side of his face kind of comes up right through here. He looks a little chubby, but I think that's correct. I don't know. Like I said, I this is probably the first bear I've ever drawn, so I've seen enough of them, like in pictures and stuff, but never tried to draw one. All right, so the top of his face. Hey, Willie, how's it going? How you guys doing tonight? Let's see, it's Tuesday, so I guess the week is underway. How's everybody's week going? Yesterday was pretty busy for me. Today was pretty busy, but it was one of those things where I wasn't really clear on what I should be doing today, so I kind of filled in the gaps, I think, pretty productively, but I wasn't I wasn't quite sure what I was supposed to be doing. I've got like a lot of projects in the works, and some of them are in varying states, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna finish any of them. Oh, cool. Hey, yeah, no, that's totally fine, Mommy Q. I appreciate it. Thanks. I like my Discord buddies. Yeah, more the merrier. Like I don't think there's anybody that I dislike. Um, so yeah, whoever wants to come in and watch me draw a bear. All right, so let me check the angle here. So yeah, that looks about right. So this ear would be slightly higher than this ear. For those of you guys that are late, hey kid, how's it going? I'm drawing a bear. Uh, Pretty much cocaine bear because it's like a white bear on black paper, kind of like the poster. It was a great movie. It was hilarious. It's not for everybody. I don't know if kids should see that movie, but if you're an adult and you can take humor like that, then I highly recommend that movie. It's funny. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, all right. So let's just call this Cocaine Bear so then I can talk about Cocaine Bear. So Cocaine Bear is this bear that apparently stumbled upon some cocaine that was tossed out of a like an airplane by some drug runners over the state of well, I think it was northern Georgia is where the cocaine was found, and then the guy who was flying the plane, he didn't make it. He fell out of the plane or jumped or something like that. But anyway, they found him in Tennessee, I think near Knoxville, and this bear stumbled upon a duffel bag of the drugs, and Can I say that on my show? I don't know. Like, this is supposed to be a kid-friendly show. Um, don't do drugs, kids. But anyway, so the bear stumbled upon the cocaine, ate it, and died of a massive heart attack, presumably. So that's how the actual bear died. So this is a true story. But then they made a movie basically loosely on that story where the bear didn't die and it went and wreaked havoc in the woods and stuff. Like I said, it's a funny movie. I don't want to throw out too many spoilers, but it's a good movie if you're an adult and you're into that kind of stuff. Um, but anyway, so the whole reason I bring up that full story is because the actual cocaine bear, the bear that was found dead from eating all the cocaine, um, it was taxidermied and somehow came to be in my neck of the woods. Like it's literally like 30 minutes down the road from me right now. I've been to see him several times, and it was a big to do around here because of the movie. And I knew that the movie was coming out like long before it actually did, and I didn't know if it was going to be any good because it's kind of a ridiculous story. So I figured, well, this could be amazing, or it could be completely dumb. And yeah, I wouldn't say it was either. It was a good movie, but it wasn't half as dumb as I thought it was going to be. It was actually really good. So yeah, so I wasn't intentionally drawing Cocaine Bear. I just really wanted to draw a bear and tease my dog by saying bear constantly. But she's zonked out. I guess she's in the habit of sleeping whenever I do these things, so she doesn't care. So anyway, that's the backstory of what I'm doing tonight. Really, I just want to practice drawing animals. So it does look like my camera's got a slight delay to it, so I have to be cognizant of that. Oh, looks like it caught up. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more detail to this ear just because I'm up here. Because like I originally drew it too small, so I kind of want to adjust it. But yeah, happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully everybody had some tacos today. I had a burrito. I don't follow instructions. Oh, I put out another video today as well. So yeah, I guess I have been busy today. So a couple of weekends ago, me and my dad went kayaking locally, and I took some video while I was out there, and I took a picture that I thought would look cool to paint in watercolor, and I just got around to doing it. So I got that video posted up just maybe an hour or two ago. So if you get a chance, be sure to check that one out. I don't know, like I feel like I've got some more work to do. Like you guys have heard me denigrate myself on the watercoloring. I feel like I've got some practice to do, but I feel like I'm getting better at it. This one actually didn't turn out too bad. Pretty happy with it. And then some of the dogs I've done in watercolor recently, they're pretty cool. Like I would consider that like kind of pop art style, like the Cosmo I did, and then I drew Guinness as well, or painted, I guess, Guinness in watercolor. I think those turned out pretty good. But I wouldn't call those strictly watercolor. I would call it like more like pop art. Uh, yeah, I'm not messing with any bear. If there was a bear around here, I'd probably move. Like they look so cute and cuddly and friendly and everything, but I don't know, they'll tear you up. I'm pretty sure this one's a grizzly bear too. I don't know the differences. When I'm done drawing it, you guys tell me what kind of bear it is. All right, so this part kind of comes around. It's kind of like a pretty defined line. And then we get into just some fur back here, making up his neck. And then it kind of goes off the page. This is a fat bear. That's what this is. All right, let me judge real quick if I've got the proportions. Yeah, I think that's a good start. All right. So I'm just gonna start at the top and work my way down, I guess. So now that I feel comfortable with the proportions and everything, I'll start making heavier marks. Just because I kind of know where everything is, especially on the outside. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Hogwarts bit. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that was mostly watercolor. A little bit of ink in there. I'm happy with that. I know that I wasn't able to finish it during the live stream on Friday, and I really didn't know where I was going to go with it Friday night when I ended the live stream, and then Saturday morning I come in and I'm like, well, I really need something down in that lower left-hand corner. And I got the idea to put the deer in there, or maybe I had the idea during the live stream and I committed to it Saturday morning. I don't remember which. Um, but yeah, I thought that really balanced the picture and the colors. I didn't really know that I was going to use purple, but I'm glad I did. I think it really complemented some of the warmer colors in the picture. That one I'm actually really proud of. Like that's one I would hang up on my wall. Well, I hang up all my bad art too, so I guess saying that I would hang it up on my wall doesn't really mean much. I would hang it up on my wall where people would see it. There you go. That's how proud of that Hogwarts picture I am. Yeah, there's a couple of pictures that I'm proud of. Um, and then, a few that I hate, but I don't know. I, I haven't thrown anything away yet. Or I haven't thrown anything away that I actually finished and published. So like if I did a YouTube video on it, that picture still exists somewhere. I haven't thrown it away, even though I may not be a fan of the picture, depending on how it turned out. For some reason, every time I draw Indiana Jones, I'm just not happy with my Indiana Joneses. I'm gonna give that another crack before the movie comes out. Let's see how it goes. The purple wasn't for fours, but like it just seemed to make sense because once I put purple up in the clouds, one of the things I like to do is kind of like tie the picture together. So after I put the purple up in the clouds, it was like, oh, okay, well now purple is on the table and I can do other things with the purple. So purple made sense because I also introduced some warmer colors up in the castle area, specifically orange and purple complement each other. So orange and purple work really well together. Blue and greens work really well together. Um, Blues and pinks work really well together, like light blues and pinks. There's some other colors that go really good, but purple and orange work out really well. Yeah, I so the other thing about it is that like I don't know. I think of it as a deer. I know that somebody mentioned that it was a Patronus. I don't know if that's technically correct because I think the Patronuses are supposed to be silver, or like in the movie they were glowing. So I don't know if it's technically that or not. I think it's just a deer, but I'll leave it up to you guys. Art is in the interpretation of the viewer, so it's not really up to me to say. I'll let you guys decide if it's a Patronus or not. But I actually went looking to see if there are any purple Patronuses because then I was going to like adopt that as the official thing, but I don't think there are. So, but I'm glad you guys like it. I think it turned out really well. All right, so all through here, this is all going to be white. So I'm kind of sketch that in, and then I will, make some areas much more emphasized to show some fur. Let me start with just a basic white coat here. sometimes I just like doing sketches like this. So like, I don't know. Every now and then I get really bold and I want to experiment, and then sometimes I'm just like, let's just draw a picture. Like in this case, um, sketching is like one of my comfort zones. So this is a lot more relaxing than doing something experimental. Like the Hogwarts thing, I'm just not in the habit of doing watercolors, so like that's a little more stressful. Like, how bad is this going to turn out, right? That's always in the back of your mind. Now, ultimately, I don't really care. It is what it is, but I would like it to turn out nice. I also did a hedgehog the other day. That was pretty relaxing because, like, who doesn't like hedgehogs? Yeah, I think they're supposed to be like silver or something. So I'm just gonna call that a regular stag. Like maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's just they're out in the woods, kind of keeping an eye on things. I like to make up stories for the pictures I do. That's the story I'm gonna give to it. It's just hanging out. It's not doing anything important. Yeah, so all right, so this is pre-Patronus. I'm gonna make up a term. Pre-Patronus is the inspiration for future Patronus. That's what I'm going with. I like that. So he's kind of got like a little bit of a scowl to him, this bear. Like he's not going to eat you, but he's definitely like, "What are you doing here with that yummy picnic basket?" I don't know. Is Yogi Bear even on TV anymore? Do people still watch that? Do kids know what Yogi Bear is? I might be showing my age by making a Yogi Bear reference. All right, so I think that's pretty good. I think there are some more details in this ear that I might come back to, but just in the sense of making progression, I'm going to move down the face and then come back and add additional highlights later. I do like doing these white on black papers. Yeah, bear for your Patronus. That would be awesome. Like as long as the bear's on my side, right? Like like the bear's on my team. I love bears. They're cute, right? But if the bear is on somebody else's team and I don't know the bear and the bear doesn't know me, nope, I'm out. See ya. Of course, I'm afraid of raccoons. Those things are pretty vicious too. I mean, not really afraid, but once when I was a kid, I went camping with some friends of mine just as like teenagers, and we didn't have a tent, so we were at a park and just kind of like laid down on the picnic table and took a nap. And like there wasn't enough room on the picnic table for everybody to take a nap, so I slept on one of the benches, and I woke up in the middle of the night to this like sniffing in my ear, and it turns out it was a raccoon, and the raccoon was like, I don't know if it was going to eat my ear, but that's what I had in my mind. But it was just sniffing my ear, and yeah, and like ever since then, I've just been scared of raccoons. Like I don't get me wrong, I think they're cute, they're adorable creatures, but I also think that they'll rip your ear off if you let them. So don't go camping on park benches. Raccoons are trash pandas. Yeah. I always call my dog Bear. She's got like a raccoon face. We should have called her Bandit because she gets into the trash. She steals food from the other dogs. Um, she really is a bandit. So I call her Trash Panda sometimes. Like if you have a bag of chips or something, you put them on the table and you turn your back, they're gone. She done carried them off into the room and is eating them. No, she's a little trash panda. I keep trying to get her attention. She won't play with me. Oh well. Maybe I'll get her attention later. So I really like drawing fur. Um, Never knew that about myself, but the more animals I draw, I realize like, yeah, drawing fur is fun. I don't know what it is about it. You're basically just repeating little tiny strokes over and over, and for some reason that's like super relaxing for me. Very zen-like, you just repeating a process. I mentioned before, but like the more I think about it, like I really feel committed to it. My dream would just be to draw pets, draw animals and stuff, especially for people who's lost their pets. You know, like somebody we know recently lost their pet. I would love to draw their pet, and I don't just want to draw pet portraits. I want to do them for free. I just want to do them, give them to the person so that they can find some comfort. That's like my dream. So like I'm gonna work on that, get to the point where I just draw a bunch of pet portraits for people. Like that's my thing. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm definitely gonna do it from the vantage point to where, and maybe I'll take a while, I don't know, but like I would like to get to the point someday where it's like, yeah, I'm just doing this as a service, like this is where I do good in the world. That's my dream. Everybody's got to have one, right? Because I really didn't know where I was going to go with this when I started this. I mean, again, it was just a New Year's resolution. I just wanted to get better at drawing, just to be more creative, because I don't get a chance to be that creative all that time much in like my normal job. Um, so I'm at the point now. It's May. I'm a couple of months into this. I'm starting to get ambitions. Like I want to get really good at drawing. I want to draw more. And I want there to be a reason I'm drawing. I don't want to just be filling up my wall with junk. I want to actually draw pictures people like and you know get them out there to people. Yeah. I think that uh, pet art, especially when the pet passes away, it's a really good way to help process grief. Um, like I mean, most people have pictures of their pets and things like that, but I don't know. There's something permanent about art. It's so weird. Like nowadays, we carry our photos around in our pockets on our phones and stuff, and they're always there, and we can always look at them and stuff. But there's something more permanent, even though like there's nothing impermanent about a photo or a file on your phone or on your computer or something like that. It just feels more permanent to have art on paper. At least that's the way I look at it. Like for some reason, this picture I'm drawing here feels more permanent than the thousand photos or whatever I have on my phone of random things. I mean, you can take your photo and get it printed or whatever and put it up on your wall, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because like I draw. To me, that doesn't really feel as permanent. I don't know where I'm going with that, but that's how I feel about it. It's like for some reason I don't value photos as much as I value art. It's probably the opposite for some people, but at least for myself. Um, there's been like a lot of talk about like AI art and things of that nature. I don't think that that will ever fully replace traditional art or even digital art. Like, nothing wrong with digital art, it's still a creative process, but I don't feel like that sort of thing will ever fully replace, the old classic of pencil on paper. I like classic things. That's why I'm drinking bourbon. I'm a classic dude. It's looking pretty cool so far, right? I think so. Doesn't look like my dog. There, right there. Like, just let me sleep. Right, so I think this part extends as far out to here. Yeah, like all of this ridge here is white. Cats are harder than dogs, I think. You mentioned doing your sister's cat. I feel like cats are harder to draw than dogs, for me at least. Some people probably are more comfortable with drawing cats. Dogs I can kind of start like I did with this. Like this is basically a fat dog, in terms of like body shapes and stuff like that. Cats seem to have like different things going on. I don't know how to explain it. It's just I find it more. I mean, I can draw a cat picture, but I find myself working on each individual shape instead of just kind of sketching out large shapes like I did here and with most of my dog pictures that I draw. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you feel that way? Like, I feel that way. I feel like dogs are easier. Maybe it's something like hardwired in human beings because dogs are our companions. Cats don't care. Cats cats hang out with us because we feed them. Dogs hang out with us because like I don't know, it goes back to prehistoric times where we were hunters and stuff together. Dogs are like born wanting to hang out with us. Cats have to be coaxed into it. You have to bribe a cat to hang out with you. I don't know if that's true. We have a cat. I like my cat. I would say I'm a cat person too. Yeah, that's so weird, right? Why do you think that is? Is it just because, um, like for me, maybe it's because I draw dogs more often, like practice and stuff. I don't know, but yeah, I struggle with cats too. I mean, I can like make my way through it. Like I feel like I could draw any object, right? Because it's just breaking it down into different shapes and different, catching the light and shadow and all of that. I mean, you can do that with anything. I've got like a potted plant over here. I could do that with a potted plant. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to struggle with it. If it's an unfamiliar object, like I have a water bottle over here. If I was drawing this water bottle, like I would struggle with this water bottle just because like I'm not used to drawing water bottles. It's a odd shape, I think. That's my explanation for it at least. The fur is more fine. That's a good point. That's a great point. A lot more going on in cats. A lot of the time they have stripes and you know like a lot of changes. Here I'm drawing this bear. Well, this is all pretty much the same up here. There's not like a lot of variation. Um, like with cats, there usually is. Like you'll be drawing a section and then all of a sudden it'll have stripes in it. You guys missed Jason Dent in here earlier. I don't know if he's still around. That's kind of cool. I think it's the first time I've seen him in here. I've always liked Jason Dent and Sasha. I used to be on a Sean Dodson show every now and then. I think I went on his show like maybe twice, three times, and Jason and Sasha were always on it. It was pretty cool. I'm glad they're still together. They got together because of all that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. You guys were always the cutest couple, I think. Well, until Ben and Ashley came out calling. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Ben and Ashley are a cute couple. I think it's funny how they play fight sometimes. Any of you guys ever encounter bears on your travels? Like ever run into a bear, see one at a distance, anything like that? I thought I saw a bear one time, but it was just an animal off in the trees. And when I got a better look at it, it was just a mule deer. So I mistook a mule deer for a bear because I was like, hyper aware of like animals. I don't know. When I went out to the Rocky Mountains, um, I had never been out there. It's a different environment for me, and having been a Boy Scout, I tried to do my research, and I would hear about all these different things that could kill you out there, right? So I was super paranoid. Um, like we've got snakes, obviously, here in Kentucky, but most of them, with some few exceptions, are like around waterways and things of that nature. Like you don't typically run into a poisonous snake here in Kentucky. Like I think we have all the poisonous ones that other places have, but you rarely ever encounter them. And my impression was when I went out to the Rocky Mountains is that there's rattlesnakes at every straight corner, and like if you step in the wrong spot, you're gonna get bit by a rattlesnake. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, like Kodiak bears. Those are cute. Maybe this is a Kodiak bear. I don't know. I honestly don't know the difference in bears. I know what a black bear looks like, and I know that black bears are okay. We have black bears around here. You never see them, but they exist. They always tell you to like be wary of them and stuff like that. But the truth of it is, if you ever encountered a black bear, it's probably going to get up and leave before you ever did. They don't want to hang out with you. Yeah, my impression was that if I saw a bear, I'm dead. Like there's no way out of it. Like you see a bear, you're gonna die. Oh, shoulder hump. Well, see, this is just a face. So like even the reference photo that I'm working off is just a face, so I can't really tell. I mean, I can draw a hump. I can turn it into a one. So is that the only difference? Like, does it resemble other types of bears except for the hump? Now I'm actually interested. I usually only worry about things that I would have to deal with, like if I ever encountered in one. And so far, I haven't been in any areas where I'd have to deal with the grizzly. Um, I never went up to Yellowstone, for example, or anything like that. I've seen pictures of grizzlies, obviously, but as far as like identifying the different ones. Yeah, yeah. Black bears are they're not friendly. You shouldn't hang out with them. So if any kids are watching this show, just stay away from bears altogether. But if you ever encountered a black bear, chances are you'll survive the encounter, like because that bear is gonna leave. I mean, really, all drawing is just repeating the same task over and over. I was thinking of like skills that you need to be an artist, and probably the number one is patience. Um, Patience is definitely, especially for like a picture like this where you're just basically repeating the same line over and over again in different ways. Um, it can get tedious if you're not into it. Um, Personally, I find it like super relaxing. I'm totally into it, but I can see why other people may not be. So yeah, if you're looking to get into drawing in particular, like I feel like painting isn't the same as drawing. Like when you paint, you're laying out like a lot of color in different areas quickly, or at least the way I do it, which is more expressionist than hyper realistic. So I do feel like drawing is a little more tedious than painting. Oh, what was the joke? So, I went to a bar in Taos, and I think we were talking to a local, and my again, we were like super paranoid, right? So my dad, he had bear bells, which is he called them bear bells, but I think they were just like leftover from like a Christmas thing with reindeer or something. But anyway, it was a strap with some bells on it. He called them bear bells. Um, but anyway, so he was wearing those, and he didn't take them off, I think. And we're at this not a bar. It was the Taos Meza Brewery. So anyway, we were there, and there were some locals there, and I don't know if he was actually wearing the bells at the time or if he was just talking about the bells for some reason. But anyway, he got in a conversation with the local, talking about the bells either because he had them on him or just because we had them. Um, but the guy was like, and I'm sure you've heard this joke before, but the guy was like, you know how it's tourist season, and he's like, no, how do you know? And, because they find the tourists with the bells on them. I'm not telling the joke well, but anyway, the joke was that yeah, all the bear poop has bells in them. That's how you know it's tourist season. My dad would probably kill me if he's watching this and I told that joke. And that looks like a bear eye. I'm happy with that. Let's see. Does it line up with the other one? Yeah. There's like a little hint of a glint in this eye, I think. Let me put that in. It's pretty good. Okay. Neat. Yeah, it is awful a lot like drawing a dog. So I've never drawn a bear in my entire life. So I was kind of curious, but it feels like drawing a dog with a short nose. This looks like there's a slight delay on my camera. I don't know why that is. It happens sometimes. It kind of sucks. I need to upgrade my equipment. But if things look weird, I do apologize about that. But what can you do? This is uh this is a cheap redneck um production here. Basically, I'm using a phone camera for everything. Well, except for the camera that's on me, that's actually like a webcam. Got to make sure I look good, right? I think some point soon, I might have mentioned this. I saw somebody who was doing bourbon bottles. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes it's more noticeable. Like sometimes there's serious lag on the camera. Um, like it could be like 10 minutes behind where I was, but this one seems to be okay. Um, anyway, I went to like an art fair recently. I might have already told the story, but somebody had drawn a bunch of not drawn, painted, probably in watercolor. I don't remember. It could have been acrylics. Had painted a bunch of bourbon bottles. I thought that was so cool, like a Maker's Mark bottle and like a bullet bottle. I think those are the only two I can recall, but I thought that would be kind of neat. So I think I'm gonna try that. Like I don't know if I've drawn glass. I certainly haven't ever painted glass, because like you have like some transparent parts to it. I think that would be a bit of a challenge. So you guys can expect that in a future show where I try to do like a bourbon bottle or something like that. Um, I think it would be one of those things that I could pull off, but it would be like, like we talked about with the cat, it'd be a struggle just because I'm not used to it. I would be reduced to drawing out the shapes I see and where the light catches the bottle and so on. And that kind of like makes it just go slower just because you're not as sure of yourself, I guess. So you're not like working off of confidence. Like I think that's another part of drawing skill sets, right? So like we talked about patience. I think the other one is just, confidence. And I have confidence even though I'm not the best artist out there. I have confidence that I'm going to create something. And if it's bad, I don't care. You know, like I have confidence because I don't mind creating bad art. If it's bad, it's bad. It just, sometimes you have hits, sometimes you have misses. But I do think that that's a requirement. Like you have to have the confidence to at least even try, to sit down at a blank piece of paper and at least attempt to create something. That is a mental process, and part of it requires confidence to at least commit to trying. Yeah, yeah. I saw somebody do that. Like they probably you're probably talking about something different, but I've seen somebody take like a mason jar and put like tissue paper on it and then put fairy lights in it. I thought that was kind of cool. You're probably talking about actually painting a jar, but yeah, I like things like that. Um, I think it's looking pretty good. It's looking like a bear. I mean, there's some areas that need to be lighter, but I feel like that's a good start. I'm going to move on to another area. The further I get away from the face, the more not sloppy, but less detailed it has to be. So, like over here on his cheek and stuff, because it's not like the central focus point, I can more quickly draw lines just because I'm not really trying to draw people's attention to it. There's a lot of little tricks and stuff that artists have. I mean, I'm not a master at them, but some of them I am better at than others. And one of the tricks to leading somebody's eye is, like great amount of detail. That's where your great amount of information, I would call it. That's where your eye is going to be led to. So, like, if you put like a lot of detail in the eyes or in the mouth, like say you're doing a portrait of somebody, you definitely want to spend a lot of time on the eyes and on the mouth because That's where people's eyes are led to. And then, like the little side of the cheek or whatever, it doesn't really matter if you get that right because nobody's really looking at that. Like if you were taking a photo, that part would be out of focus anyway. Well, it's the same thing with the bear. The further you get away from this area, the less details you really need to put in. You can not really phone it in, but you can kind of like just reduce the amount of care you're putting into it. Like you can kind of just start sketching almost. And there's definitely a difference between sketching and drawing. I sketch a lot. Um, People who do like hyper realistic pictures, like celebrity portraits, things like that, that look like a photo, that's drawing. I, I don't know if that's a technical distinction, but I'm going to say that there is definitely a difference. Sketching is more like a lot of quick marks that you're putting down, maybe a little bit more imprecise, a little more expressive. Right. I feel like I want to define the nose a little bit more here. So I kind of put in a big area for the nose. I don't know if I really want all of that to be on a nostril here with some highlight on it. This kind of comes down and around. Sorry, when I get quiet, it's when I'm thinking. Just kind of how I want this nose to look. So again, just like when I'm initially outlining it, because I'm unsure of what I'm doing here, I'm working really lightly, right? So like whenever I'm working really lightly, it's because I don't really know where I want everything to be. And then as I get more confident, we were talking about confidence, then I start getting a little more heavy-handed, and I start, kind of committing to the marks that I'm making. And I've seen a lot of people use a lot of different methods for drawing out a picture. Um, like, one of the popular ones is like for doing like a human face or like a human head is called the Loomis method. And I'm sure you've all seen it. It's where you draw an oval and you start drawing lines on it um, to represent, like where the eyes are going to be, where the mouth is going to be, and so on. Um, you might see that like when I draw pictures, I don't do any of that, and one could argue that the work suffers because of it, but no, I draw shapes, I draw shapes as I see them. Um, if you're familiar with 3D modeling, it's so apparent. In fact, I should do a video about how 3D modeling is so related to how people draw and how you can get like I don't expect everybody to go out there and learn how to 3D model. But if you did know 3D modeling and you were familiar with it, you would see how the two primary ways of creating a model are represented in how people actually draw. So the two ways that people create a 3D model is underneath the 3D model is a kind of a wire mesh, right? It's a lot like if you went off and bought a bunch of chicken wire and you were doing paper mache over it. That's kind of how a 3D model works. And that's true whether you're creating like a little cup and saucer for just a school project or you're creating, you know, Hulk from the Marvel universe. It's all a bunch of little wire meshes underneath, like a bunch of little polygons. And over that is laid material. And kind of caught there for a minute. And over that is laid material. And the material can have different properties. So it can reflect light, it cannot reflect light, it can be like, have skin texture to it, it could not, it could be smooth, it could be reflective, it can be transparent, all of these different properties that are on that material. But at the core is this wire mesh, right? So when you're creating a 3D model, you have to basically create that wire mesh. And there's two different ways that you can go about it. One is you can start with like a circle and start carving away at it, almost like you're carving away at a lump of clay, and then all of the different polygons are being made for you by the program that you're using. I use Blender occasionally when I create like a 3D model, but there's tools in there, and they're just like sculpting tools, and you're just kind of carving away at the clay. So that's one way. Um, that's a fun way. The second way is that you can actually create those wires, from scratch, and you can. Wait a second. Get my. Sorry, I got distracted here. Um, so you can create those meshes one plane at a time. So you can start with like a plane and then add to it and move it and rotate it and so on. I feel like that's how to bring it back around to what my point was. I feel like drawing is done very similarly. So with the Loomis method, you start with your circle or your oval, and then you start carving it up and drawing all these different lines, and it basically ends up looking like a wire mesh. Versus what I do, where I just start with something and then I start carving away at it, which is how how yeah, okay, box modeling. All right. Yeah, so I kind of draw like I were starting with a lump of clay. So it's definitely two different ways of looking at it, and I think that both are represented in how people draw. And probably I would argue that my way of doing it probably isn't better for beginners. Like I know I struggle with it, getting proportions correct, and probably the other route is better for students or people who aren't that familiar with drawing and stuff. But I like drawing what I see, right? So like if I see a shape and there's like light cast on it and stuff like that, I'm just drawing shapes. So like when I'm doing this, I'm doing it because that's what I see, in the reference photo, or if I happen to be across from a bear, what I see on the bear. I'm just drawing the shape of the light that's reflecting off of his anatomy. I haven't built him up, you know. It's hard to explain. I'm probably not explaining it very well, but anyway, I know what I'm saying. So I don't know if there's like a technical term. I should probably look that up for what I've been talking about, like how I draw, where I call it relational proportions, where I'll draw a nose, and then in relation to that, I'll draw an eye, and then in relation to that, I'll draw the other eye, and then in relation to that, I'll put his cheek. Um, I don't know if there's a technical term for it. I just call it relational and leave it at that. I'll probably have to look that up if I keep talking about it. I should probably get my terms right. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it kind of works, Like, I mean, my nose is here, and I know that below that, I've got this mouth going on. I had originally drawn kind of like this line for it, but I'm seeing, let me adjust this a little bit. Yeah, there's some serious lag on that camera now. Hold on. Get this side by side so I can see this better. All right, cool. Sorry for the intermission. Um, my reference photo on this other screen kind of died out, so I'm trying to do it on the same laptop that I'm doing everything else. So I drew this line here originally, but I think I need to move it up a little bit. But see, you can fix that as you're going along. So I know that instead of drawing it out from the bottom of it, I should draw up from from that line. And that kind of closes that gap a little bit. And then suddenly I've given him a facelift. And I like that because like You guys have all seen my charcoal pictures where I'll just draw a bunch of scribbles in charcoal and then kind of make a face out of it. That's kind of like sculpting. And I don't think you could do that with some of these other methods that people teach for like drawing. Um, you're going to get a much cleaner drawing if you don't do that. But say that is the kind of art that you're wanting to create. Um, I like it. I think it's like, I don't know, it's like finding faces in clouds, Like when you look up at the sky, that pareidolia or perdolia, or I don't know how it's pronounced, but anyway, the tendency to see patterns, um, that kicks in, and you start developing the line. Like I could draw this like line here, and then from that I can draw an entire face coming off of it. You could. It's more challenging if you're like using that whole grading out of your picture or refining the shapes of your picture, the Loomis method, I think they call it. Let's see, got some serious white lines coming up with here. And probably again, like I said, for students and stuff, the that other way is probably better. Like if you're teaching a class on art and stuff, you should probably teach the easier way so that they can grasp the concept and be able to create something cool. Definitely not going to argue that. I do think that it's probably better from that standpoint. But if you want to draw a messy charcoal picture, I don't know if it works to use those type of methods. Sometimes you just gotta draw a big clump of charcoal and then, use the eraser to find a face in it. It's fun. I like it. Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's patterns everywhere. We're hardwired as humans to see them. So like, even if I drew a bad picture, right, and I just had like the essence of an eye and nose and stuff, you'll be able to pick it out. I mean, how do you think Picasso works, right? So Picasso, I don't want to botch it because I'm not like an art historian or anything like that, but my impression is that Picasso basically broke, um, you know, the elements of like a face or whatever down into its simple parts, and only drew the least amount of information necessary for you to recognize it as a face. And that's really all you're doing. So like I'm putting in a lot of information here to let you know that this is fur. Could you have come to that conclusion anyway? Yeah, probably. I probably didn't need to put in that much. And that's kind of the approach that some of these artists do. They go for like, well, what's the least amount of information I need to put in here so that somebody realizes what I'm going for here. And that's where you get like, I don't know, cubism and abstract art and so on. Such a cute bear. That's a very cute bear. So now, because over here in the dark, there's not a lot of information, I want you to know that the bear's cheek continues along here. So I have to add more information so that you guys see that. Could I leave that out? Could you still recognize that as a bear? Yeah, probably. But I'm trying to draw a really cool bear that people on the internet like. So if I just draw a couple of circles and call it a bear, I don't know, maybe some like art journal or something like that might be like, oh, that's brilliant. He just drew a bunch of circles and I automatically know it's a bear. That's amazing art. But the internet is going to hate it. You know, the internet likes kind of tends towards liking realism. They don't want to have to think about it too much. I like putting pictures up on Reddit every now and then just because I'm a masochist and I like for people to like hate me. So I'll put a picture up on Reddit that I think is good, that I'm proud of, just to watch it get no upvotes. And you know, if something does get upvotes, I start to question like, well, why is this picture getting upvotes? I don't know. Um, Needless to say, my most popular pictures up on Reddit are like fan art, like that Cosmo dog I put up that got a lot of upvotes. But that's just because Guardians of the Galaxy had just come out and not a lot of Cosmo art was out yet. And then you know, in the comments it's kind of funny. They're not actually talking about my art. They're talking about Cosmo the dog and how much they love Cosmo the dog, and it has nothing to do with the picture I drew. So all those upvotes weren't for me; those were for Cosmo the character. But that's cool. You know, people got to see my art. That's cool. Deep down inside, that's all artists want. They just want people to see their stuff. They just, I mean, artists are sharers. They, you know, like somebody who creates art that nobody sees. I mean, that person is like, I don't know, atypical for sure. They want people to see it. I imagine it's like, you know, people in Hollywood who write like a screenplay or something that never gets produced or whatever, or like somebody writes a novel, and the novel just sits in their desk drawer because no publisher wants to publish it or something like that. That could be pretty frustrating. Um, so I think artists' basic needs. One is to create, like artists must create or else they're not artists. An inactive artist is not an artist. You can't be like an artist who doesn't do anything. Like say you used to do paintings and you retired and you no longer do paintings. I don't think you're still an artist. I think you have to create to be an artist like constantly. I think that's like a requirement. I'm just making this stuff up. These aren't real criteria, but it's just me thinking through it. Um, so artists must create, and I think in a large part, artists must share, right? So like if you're drawing pictures and you don't give them to anybody, I guess technically you're still an artist. Like if you never show anybody your art, like I can see that. I can see. No, I didn't go to art school. I think I took a class in high school, like as an elective or something, but it didn't count towards anything. I took graphic arts in high school, but that's totally different. Graphic arts is to be a printer. Like back then at least. I don't know what graphic artists do now, but I went to I went to vocational school to be a printing press operator, and they had they had some desktop publishing tools for like so I learned like basic layout of things and stuff. But this isn't like fine art or anything. It's just you know how do you get an advertisement into a magazine that sort of stuff. But no, I didn't go to school for it. I kind of wish I had. Like, I don't know. People talk crap about art school, but I I kind of feel like I that would have been fun for me, or like maybe I would have picked up some skills or like some things that other people know that I just don't know or whatever. I feel like things would have been easier on me. No, so I'm entirely self-taught. By that I mean that like I don't know, I just enjoy practicing. I don't know if I'm actually learning anything. Well, that's not true. I make mistakes, I learn from them. So yeah, self-taught. Um, and at least recently, like not growing up or anything like that, but at least recently, I watch as many tutorials on it as I can. I watch other artists work, um, and that's a lot of fun, and that's definitely rewarding. So like, if you're if you're trying to be a better artist, that is something I can recommend. Oh, by Mama Q. Sorry, I'm monologuing here. I wasn't even paying attention to the chat. Um, yeah, definitely I will. Thank you. Enjoy your meeting. Mama Q's the best. She's such a nice lady. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so like if you're trying to improve your art, I highly recommend just taking advantage of artists' tendency to share and just watch people do art. You learn a lot that way. Like if you want to write, you should read books because that's how you learn to write. It's the same thing with being an artist. If you want to draw pictures, watch other people draw pictures, and you're bound to either be inspired by it, learn something from it, whatever. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we've good. I feel like I feel like its face is pretty good. If I get some of this outer fur in, there's not there's not like a lot more light areas that I can draw because a lot of it's lost in shadows here. So just so that I don't lose track of time, let me work on some of these other areas that I've kind of ignored while working on his face. Just kind of lost in thought today. Well, really low key day. I was super busy last week, and I was pretty busy over the weekend, trying to make up for things I didn't get finished last week. And then today, I didn't really take the day off, but I kind of took the day for myself. I finished up that picture um, that I had done about that kayaking trip I took. And to me, that's not work. That's fun. So I would say that I just kind of took the day off today. I think people should do that. Just take a day. If you have a traditional job, I do not. Um, call in sick. Call in sick. Just take the day to yourself, or take a PTO and do nothing, or do what you want to do. Whatever it is. Just everybody quit their jobs. That's what I'm saying. Quit your job. Go draw pictures. Doing my part to contribute to the unemployment lines out there. Retire early. Who cares if you have money in the bank? Whatever you're doing, it's not important. Just if you're a doctor saving lives and stuff, quit that job and go draw some pictures. Obviously, I'm kidding. Especially if you're my doctor. Make sure you still like if I ever need you, I want to make sure you're there. If you're like a paramedic, drive an ambulance, all that stuff, I kind of hope you're still there when I need you. But if you're working in some boring office job and like not contributing to anything, yeah, quit your job, go draw some pictures. There you go. Nice save, Jeremy. Good job. I mean, you know, you, you probably draw better than me anyway. Actually, it's a career path. I don't know. Like I haven't looked into any of that stuff. I don't know how people make money off of art nowadays. I guess I mean there's commissions, but like I don't know how like you go out and sell commission. Uh, like I've drawn pictures for people where they paid me to do it and stuff like that, but they always approach me. I have no idea how people do that, the sales side of it. Um, but I just enjoy drawing pictures to draw pictures, so it's not really an area that I would be familiar with. Like some people do this for a living. I don't know how. I could see that being fun, especially if like I don't know, like say you're like a concept artist or something, or say you're an artist working on video game characters, right? So like every day you're drawing video game characters, or I don't know, do people draw video game characters? Let's say that you're drawing characters for like a board game. There you go. All right, people do play board games. I play board games. They're fun. Um, so say your job is to create characters for board games, and that's your job, right? So like every day you come in, maybe you don't even know what the characters are. Like you're given the character that day, or like just the basics of the character, and your part of your job is to be creative and come up with like what the character might look like, and what sort of like accessories that character might have. Like does that character have like say a weapon or like a sword or something like that? To me that sounds awesome. Like if that's your job, like that's what you do every day, is you just kind of be creative and think up things like that. I can see how that'd be very difficult, like to always be creative, like always be coming up with things. But they probably have like I don't know, tricks and stuff to help with their inspiration. I have no idea. But to me that sounds awesome. That sounds like it sounds like a cool job. I can also see how that might be a nightmare. Yeah. See, there's like different layers of fur. You got this first line of fur. You've got kind of like the second layer coming through here. It kind of comes back into here. I think that's cool. And this one actually extends further into this other one. Yeah, I'm gonna smooth that up a little bit. Oh, it's not too much of a mistake. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I feel like I could have combined these two layers here, but whatever. It's a bear. It looks like a bear. So he's a little chubby and has an extra roll. I shall call this bear Baloo. That's a reference people get, right? They made a live action version of Jungle Book. People know who Baloo is. All right, so this fur comes up. I feel like this comes down a little bit into here, and off the bottom lip, you got kind of like a beard. Let's see, down through here. I want to make sure I get all my shapes in. I'm gonna add like a little bit here just so that you kind of, nah, I'm gonna reset. I'd rather there not be any line here. This line is like an artifact of when I was sketching out where everything's gonna be. I like it better if there's like, if that just disappears off into the shadow. So I'm gonna erase those lines. Yeah, I like that better. Let me see how that works. Yeah, looks cool. There is a slight tuft of fur highlighted over here that kind of starts the edge of his mouth. And most of the fur down to here. And there's a line that kind of comes through. It would be like, I guess, under chin. I'm gonna call it under chin. I really need to learn the names of all these anatomical. Like I said, I've never drawn a bear before, so I wouldn't know the anatomy anyway. But um, I'm pretty sure under chin is not the technical term for the part I am drawing right now. I've never heard under chin used before. You heard it here first, guys. We're not just drawing pictures, we're inventing words. And then, like as you get out into these shadows again, it's all about information, right? So like it's in the shadows, so there wouldn't be much information that actually comes through because there's no light. So you kind of want to sparse out your lines. You could be less detailed with it and so on because like, you know, it's basically shadow. It's all about seeing how light interacts on objects. Wherever there's light, you have to put in more information. And usually that's your focal point, right? So, like, you want your subject's face to be lit up pretty well. Unless you're intentionally going differently, like you can have your face all in shadows if you want to, but that's like a decision that you're making, like an artistic decision. But typically, your subject matter is going to be well lit, which means your face is going to be lit up. Hey, because it can. How's it going? Drawing a bear tonight, if you can't tell. If you can't tell, then I'm in trouble. Because by now it should look like a bear. If it doesn't look like a bear, I have failed you guys, and I apologize. Um, because I can draw some pretty cool, like, I wouldn't call them like horror movie characters. Maybe they are. I don't know. But he's an artist as well. I kind of feel like a lot of the people in here are artists, and I really like I've talked about this before, but I think it would be kind of cool to like start up like a Discord or something where we can all share like art with each other. I think that'd be kind of cool because some of you guys hang out in here pretty regularly, so like you guys know each other just as much as like you guys know me. Um, so I think it would be kind of cool if you guys shared work with each other and kind of like learn from each other. That would be neat. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing. Maybe I'll put up a poll on the community tab. Like I always see that feature in there, like to put up a poll, and I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know, like what should I ask people? But maybe that would be a good one. Uh, Theoretically, there's some subscribers that kind of lurk or like don't watch regularly or something like that. Maybe they might enjoy that as well. I don't know. Honestly, I'm still so new to this whole YouTube thing that I don't understand any of it. So maybe we'll have a show and tell in the future. Right now, I'm not really set up to like pull up screenshots and things like that or like files. But yeah, I think it would be kind of cool because you're not the only one. Some other people, I'd have to ask all of their permissions, of course, but if they're cool with that, I would love to have a show and tell where I show off some of the artwork that people have emailed me. And then part of that is, I think I mentioned this before, my dad used to draw, and I've got some artwork of his from the 70s I would like to show off as well. So like maybe one of these streams wouldn't even be a maybe it'll be like a special stream or something like that. But not even draw anything, but just kind of show off some community artwork. I think that would be awesome. And then in preparation for that, I would like actually put out a request so that other people can send stuff if they want to be included. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, absolutely, because I can. I am interested in doing that. I'm just not really set up for it at the moment. Like I use OBS Studio, so I would want to add the file in there before, just so that I'm not like looking for it while I'm supposed to be drawing. But yes, yes, that is absolutely something that I think we should do. And it's pretty cool stuff. I like just to prepare other people for the coming of Because of Can's artwork. It's actually pretty cool stuff. A lot of talented people actually. I have not seen P Denver ever talk in my chat, but she watches pretty regularly, and she sent me some stuff that she had done recently. Like she does like landscape pictures, and I kind of felt bad because I think she took up pastel uh, square, like the square is pastel sticks. Sorry, the name escaped me. I've been drinking. Um, but anyway, I think she took up pastel sticks just because I've used them and I kind of like said, yeah, they're great, they're awesome. Like you can blend with them really well and stuff. And her comment was that they were super messy. I don't even know if she liked them, but she had created a really cool like sunset picture with them. I thought it turned out great, but I still can't tell if she liked her own work because she would mention how messy they were, which that's a fair criticism. Same with charcoal; it is messy, and if you're not into that, some people aren't. Some people have like a psychological barrier actually to the texture of like charcoals and some of these dry mediums that people use. Holding a pencil, that I don't think that bothers anybody, but that any kind of chalk stuff, gets kind of messy, and it's not for everybody. Especially like I don't know, like if you have kids or whatever, and you're trying to keep a clean house, and they're wanting to draw with like pastels, maybe that's not a good fit. I don't know. I should have thrown that in Discord. I'm pretty sure I mentioned how messy it was before. So she might be mad at me. I don't know. I'm just kidding. She's like one of the nicest people I've ever met, actually. And if she's mad at me about recommending pastels, I am truly sorry because she doesn't usually get upset. Okay, so I think we're getting close to being done. Actually, there's like a few more details I can put in the code, which I'm gonna do. But I think all the essential pieces are there. He's got all the equipment to eat your face off, which is, all bears are really wanting to do anyway. They just want to They just want to maul you and eat your face. Except Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear wants to eat all your drugs. Again, kids don't do drugs. I'm joking here. It's a movie. It's not real life. Well, actually, it was based on real life, so. um, yeah, I actually all I do is drink. I don't actually do any of that stuff myself. For the record, I don't even drink a lot. I like I like the whole relaxing of drawing and having a glass. It feels like a very classic thing to do. Like if uh if you're an artist, you have like you know a glass of bourbon, whiskey, whatever. I guess a cocktail if you're into that. Um, and then you draw some pictures. Like certainly there's a long tradition of drinking wine while drawing pictures or painting or whatever. But certainly throughout the day, I drink way more coffee than anything else. I'm definitely a coffee addict. That's actually my biggest vice, I would say, is I can't go very long without coffee. Uh, I drink so much of it. Like if I go a weekend without coffee, like I don't know, I've tried that before actually. Is I'll wake up on a Saturday and I'll either forget to make some coffee because it's not a weekday, or for whatever reason, I don't know, I just don't have coffee that day. Um, I'll probably be okay. I'll probably be just like a little tired or whatever, but certainly by Sunday, if I don't have coffee in my system, I'll start getting headaches. That's how much coffee I drink. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it's turning out pretty good. It looks like a bear to me, which is good. Like I said, if it didn't look like what it's supposed to at this point in the thing, like we're an hour and a half into it, if it didn't look like it by an hour and a half in, I probably screwed up somewhere, which I've been known to do. I do screw up from time to time. Um, there, I can't think of one off the top of probably the Indiana Jones watercolor one. I think towards the end of that, I actually went off the rails and messed that picture up. That picture did not turn out well. Well, okay, I take that back. It turned out nice. It just didn't look like Harrison Ford. It didn't look like Harrison Ford at all. And I screwed that up towards the end. There's probably like a handful of other pictures where I screwed it up that bad. But, it's part of the learning process. I don't know if I actually learned anything from it, but I feel like it gives me some credibility that I put these things out there regardless of how well they turn out, Like if you only put out your good artwork, that, that's not fair. I guarantee you there's like people out there who are professional artists who work on pictures, for a living daily. I'm sure they create some bad art that they have to toss. I write code, um, and I have to scrap some of the work I do when it doesn't work out, and that's actually what I've been doing for like 20 years now. So I would consider myself an expert at writing software in C sharp, and guess what? Sometimes things just don't work out, and you have to scrap it, and that's just how being a professional is. Being a professional, I feel, isn't avoiding mistakes, it's recovering from mistakes quickly. That's the sign of being a professional. So I feel like it's the same way in the art world where professional artists aren't immune from mistakes, they just recover from it quickly. Okay, cool. So yeah, so let me just Let me, all right. So, like, I haven't put a lot of thought into it. What I will say is, the community tab is probably the best place to go to look for notifications. So, like if you have notifications turned on, you should get a notification that I posted something to the community tab. So, I do have other places I can post things. Like I can post it to Twitter or whatever. But since this is YouTube and we're all here together. I'm gonna say the YouTube community tab on my channel is where I will post an update saying when I'm gonna do this, and I'll give you guys my email address. It's already on the about page, and then you guys can send me whatever you want me to show up, and we'll just go through it, and we'll just have a big, we'll have some fun with it. I don't really know how to invite people on. I'm sure I can figure that out. And if you guys want to come on and talk about it, I mean, maybe we can work something out there. But maybe that'll be a future one. For the first one, it'll just be like I'll show it on my screen. I'll let you guys know that I'm doing it beforehand so that you guys can decide if you want to show up. Um, and yeah, we'll just do like an art sharing thing. I think that would be awesome actually. Like because one, it takes the pressure off of me. you know, I don't have to create anything, and I can just relax, and you guys can take center stage. I think that's great. Oh, that would be awesome. I love that idea. Almost like a challenge. So like let's take a bear for example. Like your homework assignment is to draw a bear if you choose to. And then yeah, all right. So this is going to be a recurring thing. And I'm going to go ahead and say that um maybe we can do like well, I don't know. These things already run kind of late sometimes. I was thinking like maybe like part of a live stream can be dedicated to this like on a regular basis. But I think this should be a special one-off thing. Because like rather than I don't know, like we're an hour and 37 minutes into this bear. Like if I knew that I was gonna do this like show and tell part of it, then I would be kind of stressed about trying to finish this bear. So I think we should make it a standalone stream, like its own thing. And then yeah, it would be kind of cool like to do like a theme or something like that. Like maybe create your favorite fictional character or something like that. Like a character from a book, a comic book, a movie, something like that. And we'll do a show and tell. That would be awesome. Man, you guys are see you guys are this show's all about creativity. You guys are coming up with all these great creative ideas. I love it. I love it. And then, like, if you already have artwork done, you don't even have to draw anything new. You can just kind of showcase something um, that you've done before. I love it. So let me think of when that. Yeah, so maybe so I usually do the drawing Tuesdays and Fridays. Maybe I can just like commit to that being I don't know, like maybe Wednesday next week or something like that. That'd be cool. That'll give you guys some time to come up with something. Do you guys have any suggestions for what to kind of make as a theme for the first one? Or do you just want like a regular generic show and tell, and then maybe come up with like an assignment for the second one? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Um, just do like a regular show and tell for the first one, where you can show off anything that you've created. So no pressure. You don't have to create anything new. And then for the second one, so at the end of the first one, we'll kind of like come up with something as kind of a challenge, and then give you guys like a week or two to actually create whatever you want. And again, no pressure. You can just show off whatever, but if it's one of those, if you choose to accept this mission, I love it. This is great. This is cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. This is gonna be awesome. And then, like I said, it gives me the opportunity to show off some of my dad's stuff, which I've been talking about for a while. But it's not it's not like fancy artwork. It was just observational stuff that he did. And what fascinates me about it is that like he drew this stuff. I think back in the late '70s, maybe early '80s, something like that. And then you know, yeah, I think that's cool. All right. Good job, everybody. I love it. And I'll reach out to some of the people who's already sent me some stuff and see if they want to participate too. Um, I'm thinking probably next Wednesday is probably good. That'll give you guys time to come up with some stuff. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So, well, Fridays I'm already doing like the drawing live stream. That's the only reason why I was thinking Wednesday. But it could be any other day. It could be like a Thursday or something like that. But yeah, that'd be cool. Because I know, like I said, P Denver, she's a little bit shy, but she's done some work. Mommy Q does work. Like Gallatin Ghost, she's been kind of busy lately and stuff, but I know that she does art. But I'll reach out to all these people and just say like, look, we're gonna do a show and tell such and such day. Would you like to participate? If not, maybe you can catch us the next time. I really like this bear. It looks so cuddly. It doesn't look like it's going to eat your face off at all, but it probably would. This bear's like, yeah, you just wait. When you're not looking, I'm going to eat your face. Yeah, possibly a Saturday. That sounds good too. Um, Sometimes I like to go out and enjoy nature on Saturdays. But you know, it's a special thing here and there. I can do that certainly. But also, you know, the benefit of these things is they are recorded. So like if you want to submit stuff and like you want to be there when it's shown, cool, we can work out a schedule. If you don't care, you just want to show it off and then, you know, come back and read the chat or something like after the fact. Um, then it really doesn't matter what day it is. Keep up the firmness a little bit. So I think this is pretty good. I think at this point, just to kind of like wrap up this picture, I'm going to come through and like really emphasize some of these light areas that really should be kind of like ultra super white because they're really catching the light. Like right through here is a good candidate for that. Oh, come on, kid. I'm sure you John like look, I tell everybody all the time, stick figures it can be cool too. But you know what? If you if you can't participate by submitting a drawing, that's fine. Maybe you can be like one of the critiques. So you can say what you like about other people's work and you know things like that. I don't know. I don't want this to be like a contest or anything. I don't want anybody to feel like you know it's that much of a challenge. So maybe like maybe the idea of having judges or something is probably the wrong way to go. Because I do want this to kind of be like low key and just more like sharing um, just for the interest of sharing rather than like competitive that sort of thing. All right, so Kid said that I can do that. So basically, you guys need to impress Kid. That's the takeaway here. Your job is to impress Kid because Kid is going to look at your work and be like, "That's garbage," or "Oh, that's awesome." Shoo, takes all the pressure off of me. I don't have to do any of that. Yeah, it's just practice and fun. I'm only joking. Completely practice and fun. Well, it's practice and fun, and also it is good to get your artwork out there and stuff, so that other people can see it and everything. You really, like I said, you really should not view your art as something that you keep to yourself. It could be, it could be that you draw pictures, almost like therapeutically, like because it makes you relax and stuff. It doesn't have to be shared. Okay, I'm going to retract that. I said that earlier, and I think I'm changing my mind on that. Art doesn't have to be shared for you to be an artist. However, it is something that's meant to be shared, you know? So, like, say you draw pictures to process trauma or something, right? So, like, you draw pictures because something bad happened or whatever. Really, that isn't something that you should keep to yourself. Now, it's a little intimate. It is something that you want to be careful about who you share it with. You want to share it with somebody you trust or something like that. But still, it's still a creative expression that you should share with somebody. Whether it's a spouse or a family member or something like that. All art should be shared. Even the stuff you put in your like little private journal or something that should be shared with somebody. You know that's my view on it. I reserve the right to change my mind if there's a better argument. But having drunk bourbon and drawn a bear, that's my viewpoint at the present, is that all art should be shared. Kid, kid's great. I like it. Kind of reinforcing that little scowl there that's going on here. Actually, that white line there, I like that because it's almost like he's got this kind of new expression that I hadn't seen before. I like that. I don't know what sort of expression it is, but I'm actually looking forward to this, guys. I think this is gonna be awesome. So yeah, I'll put maybe I'll put up a couple of dates on days next week. I think would be the first one. That gives you guys time to come up with stuff and other people time to come up with stuff if you guys want to. Nobody's forcing anything here. Um, but I'll put up a couple of dates or whatever, and then like on the community tab, and you guys can kind of like we'll work out the one that's best for the most people. Like it's always terrible to schedule something with a group. There's never a day that works out for everybody, but we'll try our best. If you guys even want to be there, active, participating in the chat, if you guys don't really care, you just want to submit your artwork to show off, then it really doesn't matter. But yeah, community building. This is awesome. I love it. Put a little bit more white in here. All right. I do think probably getting close to the end of this picture, like I can probably add further details just to kind of further refine it, but I don't know like any like real difference it's gonna make. I do want this area up here to be ultra white. I'll probably have to get a new. No, I got some life in this pencil. I've been using this pencil a lot. Oh, by the way, like in case you haven't figured it out, this is colored pencil I'm working in tonight. I should have probably mentioned that at the outset, because sometimes I do sometimes I do um, white pastel pencils and stuff. This is colored pencil, and the reason why I use colored pencils on this particular white paper, not white paper, black paper. The reason why I use white colored pencils on this black paper is because I found that my pastel pencils don't really work well on the smooth texture of this. I can make them work, but the colored pencil really clings to the paper tooth a little bit more than my pastel pencils. The color pencil. Yeah, I said that right. Just a few little really stark white highlights here, I think really help create that depth. Yeah, so I'll put up something where like you guys can kind of like not really vote. I think the poll thing requires you to put in some maybe I'll come up with some things that you guys can choose from and then you guys can like vote in the poll about which ones you guys would like to tackle. Like obviously animals might be a subject or something. Um, I don't know, people, fictional characters, whatever, and you guys can choose amongst yourselves. I'm indifferent to that. I just want to see what you guys come up with. I'm fascinated by that aspect of it. All right, I think we've got a bear here. I really like those white highlights that I just added, where I really reinforced some of those the brightness of those. I think there's a little bit of a darkness gap here. Okay, I like that better. Yeah, so I really like those really bright areas I just added. I think those are great. We kind of go with the music. Every time I say I'm done, I want to just throw in a few more touches. I'm never actually done with the picture. I just call it quits on something eventually. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And we're coming up on the 2 hour mark. So I think I'll go ahead and call this stream done. And I really like the suggestion of showing off your artwork, so I will post something about that tomorrow and we'll work it out. And I'll start getting things together myself. Like I said, from my dad and trying to think. Maybe I think I might have a picture from like when I was super young, like elementary school. I'll show that off. That should be fun. And then, like I said, some people have already sent me emails, so I'll respond to them and see if they want to participate. That'd be cool. So, yeah, we got a bear. Uh, Again, I'm gonna call him Baloo. You can call him Cocaine Bear if you want. I don't care. A little bit. I think he's a little bit larger than Cocaine Bear. I don't know. Cocaine Bear was a pretty big bear. I like this expression though because like this kind of comes down and stuff. It's almost like he's got one of those like Leonard Nimoy like one eyebrow up kind of faces. That was unintentional, but I like it. Put it this like really. Yeah, so we kind of focus on that eye. So again, we've talked in the past about how to draw people's eyes to different things. Like contrast is good. So like the whiter you make this, it creates more contrast, draws people's eyes to it. Oh, that's the theory at least. All right, cool. I'm gonna call this done. Um, as always, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Uh, Man, I still got like a lot of bourbon. I'm gonna work on this. Yeah, I guess maybe I could put in some details here, but no, I mean if the light's coming down here, I feel like all of this would be in shadow. If anything, you would have like the random tuft of hair coming off or something, but uh, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. Might tinker with his mouth a little bit. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna call it done. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with. Oh, thank you, Amy Gwen. I really do appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys were able to hang out with me on this Tuesday night. I know it's just getting started in the week, but I hope the rest of your guys' week goes well. Um, let's see. Go back to me. There we go. All right. So anyway, I hope the rest of your guys' week goes well, and I hope you're off to a good start. I'm going to make a short out of this tomorrow. I'll post it up. I'll put this up on the community tab as well. Um, but yeah, yeah. Oh, now you wake up, little punk. This is my dog Bear. I've been saying Bear all night trying to get her attention, and she would not respond to it. But now she knows it. For some reason, she just knows, I guess, by the tone of voice that we're wrapping things up, and she wakes up and is like, "Yeah, see, she's." Say hi to the people on YouTube. Can you see them? They're over here. Like, screw that. I want some food, Daddy. All right. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys on Friday probably. Have no idea what we're going to draw, but we're going to draw something awesome. So until then, have a good one. Bye.